Welcome back to the Grounded Brand Podcast. We are on episode number 6.
Look at you, remembering what episode we're on.
Absolutely. Remember tonight. So we are about, 3 weeks out before turkey season here in Alabama. So we're getting close.
Yep. Our friends in South Florida already starting to get going.
Got a couple pictures from you and Isaac. So congratulations to you guys getting to go down there and smack a few birds.
Man, it
so
was
cool.
It was blasted. Now it's kind of a hard thing because now we went down there, chased them, and now, like you said, we got to wait a few weeks now. So we already got that itch. And now we wait for that to before we can get back up after here.
That's right.
Well, before we introduce them, we may want to address the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Brandon's not here.
Oh, what are we going to talk about? Let's talk about it tonight.
Let's talk about him.
Let's talk about him. He can't answer for anything.
Exactly. We can say whatever we want.
Yeah.
You know of any of his secrets?
Probably.
All right. We won't say him, though. I'll tell you what, though. I'd never say this to his face, but he's one of the nicest people I've ever met.
That's right.
I'd never say it to his face, though.
Yeah.
No.
His head will get even bigger.
No. But, hey, we just got back. Just got back from a show.
Yeah, I got back from Raleigh, North Carolina. Got to attend the Dixie Deer Classic up there for a few days. Met some really cool people. Got to kind of introduce the vest per se into a new market. A lot of guys had never heard about it, and a lot of guys loved it. So to everybody that came out, looked at the vest, looked at the pants, the shirts, anything else that we had, thank you. We appreciate you. Hope that you get some great success in the field utilizing the new gear and equipment that you bought from us, and hope it adds value to your hunt. So
yeah, like Drew said, this is the first show that we did. Really, it's kind of our third show that we've done because we do NWTF every year.
Yeah,
we went to a deer expo in Birmingham one time.
Yep,
and this is kind of the third biggest. Well, I mean, it's the third show we've done.
Yeah,
and it was great. It was
a good show. They had a record crowd, like 27,000 people came through there.
It's huge. It's huge.
We'll be back next year. Already got signed up for that. So if you missed us, but you'll be able to go next year, come see us.
That's true. Did you see NWTF, by the way? Had a record year.
Oh,
like 72,000 people came through NWTF.
Wow.
Man, it's such a busy 3 days. You don't even think it's that many people. But that's crazy.
That's right.
All right, well let's get into it. Let's introduce our guests.
All right, tonight we got Mr. Josh Anderson joining us with Southern Dirt TV. He's the owner of that, starter of that, founder of that. He's an avid turkey hunter, avid cameraman. He's 28 years old. And Josh, welcome to the podcast tonight, man. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thank you guys for having me. Glad to be here and ready to talk some hunting, talk some filming, just anything and everything.
Yeah. So kind of give us a rundown on who you are, where you're from, and how you got started into hunting, and then specifically turkey hunting.
Yeah. So Josh Anderson up here, born and raised here in Habersham County, Georgia. Lived here my whole life. It's just outside of Gainesville, Georgia. And I was very fortunate to be born into a family that hunted. My grandpa was a diehard hunter. My dad was a diehard hunter. Now, when they hunted, it's a little different than now, especially my grandpa. They lived off the meat that they killed. And so, that was their livelihood. And my dad grew up with that, and he passed that on to me. And so ever since, I was in deer camp, when I was born, and I can vaguely remember, being 4 or 5 out in the woods, following my grandpa. And that passion of being in the outdoors and hunting really just lit me up at a young age. And I was just all about it. I soaked it up, and living down there and being down there was probably the best thing that's ever happened to me. Hunting in the outdoors, and that passion has continued to grow and lit a fire in me, and I absolutely love it.
All right, so Josh, you talked about growing up in deer camp and stuff. Did you start out as a deer hunter, or did you start out turkey hunting?
So I started out as a deer hunter. My dad and grandpa, they never really turkey hunted. They knew about it, but weren't really involved or really cared about it. And so shot my first deer when I was 5 or 6 years old, and I did kill my first turkey. As I grew up, I did start to become, or I did start to have some interest in turkey hunting. And so my grandpa and my dad, they would take me every now and then. I was fortunate enough to kill my first turkey when I was back in middle school, and that really kind of started lighting a fire. I played baseball through high school, so that really put a damper in my turkey hunting. So really, my passion and that fire for turkey hunt really started after high school. And I tell people now, if I loved turkey hunting back then as much as I do now, I probably wouldn't have played baseball just so I could spend every day chasing those turkeys after school.
Yeah.
Um,
Are you still a
so
big baseball fan?
I am. I'm a huge baseball fan.
Okay.
Of course, the Braves, soaking up the Braves.
Okay.
They're fixing to start off, so I'm ready for it. College baseball, I'll watch.
Oh yeah.
I don't have a specific favorite college baseball team, but I'll watch any type of college baseball.
I got a buddy, and
And
I know Drew knows him, but he pitches for the Cincinnati Reds, and so
okay, yeah,
we love baseball in our family. We're
yeah,
big
no,
baseball fans. I grew up in Florida, so we grew up and we'd go watch the Red Sox during spring training and stuff, and love baseball.
yep,
So
yeah. We actually down in Florida. Well, yesterday we drove right by the Fort Myers, the Red Sox spring training camp, and
yeah,
no, like I said, and of course us, living here in the Southeast, we got the SEC baseball, which is just unreal good, and
oh yeah.
and the Braves have been fun to watch the past few years, so
And that new park, man, that new park is beautiful too.
it's insane.
Gosh, it's pretty. Anyway, so how do you battle then? I mean, baseball season and turkey season, that's tough.
That was real tough, and it was hard because I wanted to be turkey hunting, but also wanted to be playing baseball. And we practiced or had games on Saturday, and I remember after every Saturday practice or game, I'd leave, drive 2.5 hours to the hunting camp, hopefully hunt Saturday evening, and then Sunday morning, and then drive back for school Monday. So balancing that was it was tough. It ate me up. And I remember where we practiced, where we played. It's a subdivision now, but you could sit there and any other day turkey would hammer off past the outfield, and oh man,
I would have not been good if I was on your team.
No, that would have been bad.
I would have been a bad teammate.
Drew would have been walking the fence line
See y'all.
trying to
Yes.
find that turkey. So tell us about Southern Dirt, man. Tell us how that got started, and tell us kind of like what you're up to now with Southern Dirt TV.
Yeah, Southern Dirt really hit me about 3 years ago. Obviously, growing up as a kid and hunting, it's really about that. Everybody wants to kill. Everybody wants to shoot. And as I've evolved and been able to be more involved with the property and the management habitat decisions, that my focus and love has changed from punching those tags to really what can I do to make more turkeys, to have more deer, to just live that southern lifestyle. And here in the South, it's tough. It's tough. The turkeys are pressured.
Yep.
The deer genetics just aren't there, and so it has been a great challenge that I just wanted to see. Hey, what all with our little piece of property, what can we do to it to make it a paradise, to make it something that we can come and hunt deer and hunt turkeys for the rest of my life, or something that my kids can grow up and enjoy. And so that really hit home about 3 years ago, to where, hey, I really want to start showcasing this the Southern Dirt lifestyle. I was born on the Southern Dirt. I was raised on the Southern Dirt. And I know many people that eat that up, that really love the Southern lifestyle, that live it. And I just want to showcase just being on the property, doing the habitat work, from A to Z, just that process, the learning, the failing, all the in between. So that really hit, like I said, about 3 years ago. So that's my sole purpose, my sole goal now. It's just to show that, hey, we're hunters who love the outdoors, who love the wildlife, and want to give everything back to them as we can.
I think that's a great perspective.
Yeah, it is.
It hits home with me, especially. I managed land and habitat for wildlife as my day job, and got a degree from Mississippi State in the field in forestry and wildlife management, and being in the woods and managing habitat, making it better, improving it, and understanding how everything works together for one common goal is really special.
Yeah, it is. And I recall like the first content that I saw from you, Josh, was this reel where I think you're like walking out of the house or something, and you're like, it's burn day on the farm, and like you show the process of like the burning and how it creates the habitat and like how it, ultimately works for the better. And so, I mean, I think you're doing a great job, man. I mean, the content that you put out is fantastic. So, let's take it a step further. So, I mean, Southern Dirt TV is now just not, filming for you, it's filming for, others. So kind of talk us like, how did you get into the photography and the filming side of it?
Yeah, so like I said, when I was little, I was ate up with hunting. And one thing I absolutely loved and could not wait for was when like Realtree would release their Monster Bucks DVD, or I think it was their Realtree Spring Thunder, the Primo's Truth About Hunting. And I would sit there and watch every single hunt and was just in awe. And that really kind of gave me an interest into filming and hunting, but more on the filming side of it. And I believe I was 15 or 16. I think it was 15. I asked for a video camera for Christmas, and it was just a small little handy cam. Santa brought it to me, and got it, and I just started filming my hunts and filming just as much as I could. And of course, as technology, got better and better, I was able to, upgrade and keep filming. And I remember the biggest thing I would do, like at the end of the year filming, I would put the hunts together, burn it to a DVD, and I would mail them to companies of the products that I used. And so, like, I would mail them to Realtree. I would mail them to, like, it was Lacrosse Boots back then, just all these different companies. And then Facebook evolved, and I would do the same thing. People that I looked up to, I would send them a link to it. And some would look at it, some wouldn't, some would get back to me. And, those that got back to me and said, hey, it looks great, do this and that, really hit home and stuck with me. And so I just kept progressing and, getting more knowledgeable. And it has been a blessing. It's turned one thing into another, and I've been able to make it my livelihood. And it's been good. I went to college to actually be a wildlife biologist. And when I was probably about 3 or 4 weeks in, and my heart wasn't there.
Yeah.
And I remember having a conversation with my mom and dad, and I told them, hey, my heart's not in it. I feel like I'm there just to be there. I really want to pursue this photography and videography. Career, and the only thing that I know how to do that is to just go all in. And so they were my parents. They were supportive. Of course, they were, they didn't want me, dropping out of college, of course, but they said, hey, we support you, but the same thing, you got to support yourself. And that was the best decision that I've personally ever made, was making that jump, taking that risk, and just meeting people along the way, and not being afraid to, take criticism, and not being afraid to ask. People look at, I was asking my mentors, and a lot of people, they fear their mentors. They think
Mm-hmm.
they think they're over them, or that they're not going to sit there and take the time to talk to this little bitty person that's nobody. But that, I was not afraid to do that. And so it has evolved and became one of the biggest blessings of my life, and the funnest thing. I get to do what I love every day for work.
That's awesome, man.
That's really cool. It makes me think about, like, I have a degree in fisheries and aquatic science from Auburn, and like, I'm not in fisheries. I had a few jobs out of college where I did do that, but like, I had really fun when I was at Auburn managing social media pages for like this little, program on campus. And it's funny how like those little things that you have a passion for or that you really enjoy doing, like sometimes just completely change your life. And like, you don't even think about it. Like now I'm in marketing full time. I don't use my fisheries degree. I still love to go fishing. I still love the aquatic environment. Like, but it's funny how like, God works in those ways and, changes those paths in your life. So that's cool, man. That's really neat.
It really is. So when I went to get my forestry degree, I wanted to have a TV show that taught people how to manage land and properties because I loved the film and, that side of it.
Yeah.
And my experience was a little like opposite from yours, probably 180 from yours. I started doing the filming stuff while in college, and I quickly realized, well, I'm not going to get to hunt if I'm behind this camera. So I'm not, no, this ain't for me.
We ain't doing this.
So I punted on that idea. So that's pretty neat, man. It's a cool story of you talking about, not going to college to pursue your dreams. And, that's the American dream in a way. And kudos to you for doing that, man. Keep up the good work. As far as the filming and the photography stuff, are you self-taught on all that stuff, or how did you kind of pick that up?
Yes, I am. I'm self-taught. YouTube is a great learning thing. I mean, it's sad, but we could probably, take over the world just knowing what we know on YouTube.
No, gosh, yeah.
So, self-taught, there are classes and, there is schooling for it, but, I kind of wanted to be my own creator. And, I felt like, going, obviously, you'd get knowledge, but, I feel like those people would be teaching you how to do it their way. I think, there is no right way. Everybody's got their own way. So yeah, self-taught, a lot of YouTube, and like I said, a lot of feedback from people that have been in the industry and have seen, know about, shows and production.
Yeah.
That's the biggest progress.
These people that would get back to you, because you talk about like, sending off discs and stuff like that, which by the way, I had a disc burn for me the other day for the first time, I think since like 2008 for my MRI coming up on my shoulder. But I just had to mention it because I was like, they handed me a disc and not a thumb drive. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, these people that would get back to you, are they like people who produce the show, or is it like owners? And like, what is that kind of interaction? Because, really like based on that interaction, that can kind of be formative for you. If they're saying like, hey, your films are great, maybe you need to start with a hook at the beginning or something like that. Was it that kind of feedback, or was it more like, hey, thanks, we love seeing your videos?
So it was a little bit of both.
Okay.
The companies that I would send it to would be, hey, and I wasn't really searching for like a sponsorship deal. I was just wanting to send it just to really get their feedback. But it would be, hey, we enjoy the videos, keep it up, and maybe something down the road will happen. And then when I talked to like actual producers, it was more of, hey, I liked it, but I thought it was maybe a little slow, or maybe ramp up the music a little bit, add a little bit more of this, shoot a little bit more of this, and so just kind of keeping those things in the back of my mind for the next time I would shot, saying, hey, I need this shot, we need this look, that way when I lay it out, we've got it covered from A to Z.
So you just went down to South Florida, and I mean, you've already got yourself a bird this year, so congratulations.
Thank you.
What kind of gear did you bring with you for that hunt? Do you bring different gear for different environments? Like what would be like your pack out, I guess?
So yeah, it really depends kind of on the situation. So, and when I say situation, I mean like self-filming, just me, or if I'm filming somebody. And if I'm like this past week, we went down to Florida with the Woodhaven group, had some incredible hunting. Just them Osceolas, if you never hunted them, they are as fun as a turkey to hunt. And so I had a big FS5 camera set up for my main camera, and then I've got a Canon R5 that I use for kind of B-roll photo or B-roll video and my photos, and then a GoPro for second angles. And so that's my setup when my main goal or main purpose is to film somebody. And that's my setup as well. If I'm filming myself, just not for a hunt, like if I'm filming myself to, do like a project or, go out check trail cameras or, do a burning or something. But as far as hunt goes for self-filming, that's where it gets tough. And so one, I got to be able to carry a gun and carry a camera pack and, be maneuverable and through the woods. And so I kind of downsize when it comes to self-filming. I have a Handycam Sony NX80 that I run as my main camera. And then I'll hook a GoPro on me the whole time, just kind of simplifying it when I self-film, but still wanting that quality. And that's something that I stuck to, no matter really from the beginning. I wanted quality over quantity, and that goes for if I'm filming somebody or even for my own self.
Man, that's hard to balance, isn't it? I mean, the quality and the
it's
quantity. It's like, oh man, I want to kill this turkey, but they most of the time when they come in and you're by yourself, it's over here and camera's pointing this way, and so that's hard to do, man.
No, it is. It is the biggest challenge. People ask me all the time, man, what camera should I get? I want to start filming hunts. And I interrupt saying, no, don't do it because,
Right.
It's there goes your fun.
Right.
There goes your enjoyment. But no, like I said, I love it. It's my passion. And, I tell people, I don't know if I could hunt without a camera now. Just because of the things you see, the things you get, the things that you can look back on. You walk in the coffee shop after a hunt, you got all the hunters, old people there, hey, what'd you see, man? I had one just hammering. Oh no, you didn't. We didn't hear nothing. Well, you're able to pull out that video camera, hey, look, yeah, I mean, this was it. So
You're like the ESPN replay when you get back to the coffee shop.
Yeah.
and that's another thing, everybody loves when you get back to camp, just people, man, hey, can I see that hunt? Can can we watch this? And so it is fun and a blast, but it is also an extra kind of stress, pressure, and kind of an aggravation, just hauling all that extra stuff.
Yeah. Well, you kind of are leading into my next question, which is like, I do the marketing for Grounded, and like this is going to be my first turkey season, but also I have this need to get content and film and stuff for Grounded, so we have stuff to put out and everything like that. How do you battle between I need content to put out and I also want to just sit in the woods and enjoy, turkey hunting?
Yeah.
Do you have like specific hunts where you're like, this is just for me, I'm not filming? Or is it like you're always bringing a camera with you because what if I get that one clip that I don't have?
So I am always bringing a camera with me, but I will tell you this past November, I was in Missouri hunting. I was in a hurry to get out there. I left my camera bag and everything in the hotel and didn't realize it till I got out to where I was parking, fixing to walk. And I hunted that evening without the camera, and that was probably the most enjoyable hunt that I had all year, just because I didn't have to worry or stress about anything. But no, if I'm going hunting, 99% of the time, well, 100% of the time, I'm gonna have that camera. Like I said, unless I forget it or just it totally slips my mind. But no, I make that camera a priority, but I make the camera a priority, but the hunt is always first, because I don't hunt because of the camera. I'm going to hunt regardless, and that camera is just, it's there with me to get everything. But no, if I'm going out in the woods, I'm going to have a camera, because like I said, we're out there in God's creation, and you never know what you're going to see.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it.
Man, if only we could get Brandon to do that with his cell phone. Put it away. That thing rings nonstop, man.
Good luck.
Yeah.
That old Android stuff he's got, you wouldn't be able to tell anything what's going on.
It don't work half the time anyway. So.
I mean, he can barely call us back.
I'm glad he's not
much
here.
less take a video of a turkey.
I'm glad he's not here. We can just talk about this all the time. He can't say nothing. So one of the other things I wanted to ask you is, like, how do you see the content creation space now compared to, like, because there's still obviously TV around hunting, but most of these companies now, I mean, just like Grounded, we do the same thing. We're putting out short form content for people to get their fix. Like, kids these days are not going to burn a CD and send it off to a company. Like, they're going to put together a TikTok or a reel or something like that and send it to the company and hope it gets shared.
Yes.
So, like, how has that affected you? Like, how have you had to change, your business to kind of fit that?
It's as a producer, a content creator, it's kind of a double-edged sword, because I feel like, well, just with everything, there's people in it for the wrong reason and people in it for the right reason. And the biggest problem that I've seen with this, the social media content profession that's going on, I feel like you've got people that have great, incredible followers and incredible numbers, but they get that content just for themselves and just to build up that following. And then I feel like you have the people that are getting that content, but they're getting that content while they're in the outdoors, while they are out there hunting, out there in nature. And that's something that I've strived to always do, was to make it real, try to get the greatest footage, the greatest photos, the best quality as possible, but be in the moment of the outdoors in the woods and making it be as natural and real as possible.
I don't think I could have said that better myself.
No, I definitely couldn't have.
Yeah. Like, we get requests and stuff all the time of, like, can y'all sponsor this? And can we promote you and stuff like that? And, that was one of the things that when we originally started talking, I was really impressed by, was, like, it was more about, hey, here's the management side of it. Here's how, like, it's a holistic lifestyle, instead of just like, hey, look at me, I'm going hunting today. And those are the people that I think we're drawn to naturally, just because we all kind of have this, natural resources background.
Right.
And, that's a big value to us. So it's cool. It's funny that you mentioned that, because I think that's seen across the board. And hey, there's nothing wrong with, like, if you're just going out filming your hunt and stuff like that, that's perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with that. I think it's just a level of, hey, we like to take it a step further and talk about, like, how it's a holistic picture. It's not just, we're just going out hunting and then we don't bother doing anything else.
Yeah.
And it's, it's, I get it. Like, numbers and impressions, they do sell, and the biggest, and I guess the trouble thing or the hardest thing that I see, with the way the industry and everything's going is I feel like some of these companies are putting priorities over the numbers versus the hunters.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, like I said, that's been a struggle to watch. I hate to see it, but at the same time, it is what it is. Social media has is influence. I mean, it's social media is influencing the world, really.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned that. Like, I was reading an article. Google is no longer the largest search platform anymore.
Really?
It's TikTok.
Wow.
Yeah.
There are more searches on TikTok today than there are on Google.
That's wild.
Isn't that crazy? And then I saw an article too where I'm not getting political. I promise I'm done after this. The House just passed a bill that's now going to the Senate, if that's how it works. I think it is. But where TikTok would be banned on all U.S. Cell phones and tablets.
Interesting.
And so, like, from a media standpoint, like in our world too, in content creation and for you and like Southern Dirt, like, is everyone going back to Instagram?
Right.
Or are we going to, what was that app that Instagram tried to launch? Or maybe it still is Threads. I think it's Threads.
Yeah, Threads.
Yeah.
Yep, Threads.
So like, it's crazy to think about, especially with like the social media side of everything. But yeah. We'll move on from that. All right. So how about tell us, because I don't want to start like going down a rabbit hole because I could do this. I could do it all day long. I could do it all day long. So tell us what you got going on with Southern Dirt TV. You film with the Mossy Oak crew. The Woodhaven as well. So like, tell us what is Southern TV doing or Southern Dirt TV doing right now? What is your you've got some hunts coming up. I know that much. So tell us kind of like your roadmap and everything for that.
Yeah. So I am in the middle of finishing last year's turkey hunt. So really my focus here on out, is turkey content. But we're fixing to, our turkey season comes up March 30th here in Georgia. So like I'm fixing to go down to our property, I'm going to put out some cameras and try to do a little scouting, try to do a little trapping, trying to get some nest pairs out of there. So getting all that on film, starting to put, little short clips, edits together. This turkey season, I wanted to do things a little different, just kind of like a semi-live, kind of short content video of of our hunts and trips, just kind of give updates, and so that way people can kind of follow along. But right now we are all hung-go on the turkey season. Like I said, I've got a few episodes to finish up from last year, and then I just got back from Florida where we had some incredible hunts. So I'm gonna start putting together kind of those semi-live, put it out quick, and then we're gonna hit Georgia hard. I drew an Iowa tag, so I'm going to hunt Iowas the third season. And then I timed that up to where I've got a Missouri lease and I can hunt them at the same time. They're about 40 minutes away. And then going to go out to Wyoming and try some public land out there. That's really my trips lined up. And then, I'm sure I'll be filming, filming somebody along the way. So just anything could pop up, but I'm ready for it. Georgia, Missouri, Iowa, and Wyoming.
That sounds like a blast.
Man, that sounds like a busy turkey season. I'm just trying to think if I went to Gina and I said, hey, I'm going to Florida, Georgia, Wyoming, Iowa, Missouri. She'd be like, no, you're not. I know that much. She already, she doesn't understand much about hunting and stuff. And, so I was talking to her the other day and she's like, have y'all planned any days that you're going to go yet? And I'm like, nope. I'll get a phone call probably the night before. If not, in 2 hours, that I got to be ready.
Yep. Well, that's kind of how this turkey thing.
That's right, man. It's like, hey, the weather's good tomorrow morning. Like, all right, I'll see you in the morning. Meet you at the gate.
Yep. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, and so I'm real bad. I'm real bad on getting like on a lease versus going to an outfitter because of that reason. So that way I can say, hey, when the weather's right, I'm gone. You know, I'm not set to a certain date. So but no, and that's how this Florida thing is kind of spur of the moment. Hey man, you want to come down and film? And I wasn't even expecting to be able to hunt, but you know, we were on some good properties and had some good hunts. I'm like, hey, while we're at it, you know, might as well get your license and try to get an Osceola. So that was very fortunate to be in that situation.
Definitely. Was that your first Osceola?
It was my first Osceola.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations.
No, thank you.
Yeah, that was a pretty bird.
So out of running all your social platforms, you know, handling Southern Dirt TV, if you were to give our listeners just one tip to better capture content, whether it's for their personal, you know, gain, maybe they don't have a following, they just do it for fun, or whether they do have a following, what would you say is your number one tip for that, for capturing content?
Number one tip would be to just capture the emotion, capture the moment. You know, don't try to recreate that. Don't try to, you know, skip getting it all, because you know you could come back and, you know, and do a recreate or do a recreate of this and that. You know, get film as raw and as real as it gets and capture those emotions. You know, I mean, just have that camera by your side ready to hit record, and record as much as possible. I do not think you can over record, but also record with a purpose. You know, go into it, you know, go into that hunt with a purpose. Hey, I want to get this set up and try to get this shot. And of course, you know, we're hunting, you know, wild turkeys. So, you know, they're not going to, 99% time, they're going to do the opposite of what you think they're going to do.
That's
but
right.
Hey, but capture that, you know, hey, we're set up here. You know, I'm hoping these turkeys are, you know, they're roosted up here. They're going to work this way, and be ready to capture that whenever he does suck around and hammers off 50 yards behind you. You know, get that raw and that real emotion, and just don't be fake and don't make it fake. You know, people want to see real, and people want to see relatable content, and by keeping that video running, you're going to get that 99% of the time.
Yeah, I think that you can, if you watch some shows, you can tell what's kind of cut away, you know, what they've gone back and captured, and it's like, okay, yeah, you're telling the story, but like you're not really evoking that emotion within the viewer that you're talking about capturing. That's what hits home with people.
Yeah,
right. That's what really impacts and lands with them.
Yeah,
so
and I will say,
that's a really good thought.
Two things. Number one, like footage that you may not be happy with, you know, or you may not think is that good. You'll be surprised what a slow-mo and a song will do over, you know, a piece of footage or something like that. But, you know, talking about the emotion and that raw, you know, real feeling, we posted a video yesterday, and it was just a turkey running through the field that we had captured. And I think you're talking to someone. I don't remember who it was.
My dad.
Okay. But like, man, just hearing that whisper and hearing him run and stuff, like, that does better than anything we could post. Like, it doesn't matter how long I spend editing a photo or, you know, a graphic or something like that.
Right.
That'll do better 9 times out of 10.
That's right.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No. And like I said, you know, cutaways, they have their place, and sometimes sometimes you have to use one. But I try to go into every hunt getting it as live as possible, so we don't, you know, go in with the purpose of, hey, I want to shoot this, without having to go back and shoot cutaways. So that way it is as real and as live, and people are seeing it exactly how it happened.
So it sounds like that's a great tip, man. Capturing that emotion, that really lands and impacts people. And when you talk about impacting, that's a story that person's going to tell for a lifetime to come.
Yeah.
And so out of all the hunts that you've had the opportunity to experience and just be a part of, do you have any kind of like favorite hunts, or maybe one that stands out more that you'd like to share with our listeners and just kind of hit home with them?
Yeah, my two favorite hunts would probably be with my grandpa, just because he was my best friend. You know, he was my mentor. He's the one that, you know, took me under his wing and made sure I was, you know, outside with him as much as possible. And he passed away 2 years ago. So my most meaningful favorite hunts would be with him. He's who I killed my first turkey with, and I can remember us. We got out of the truck trying to strike up a bird, and we had one gobbled just right there. And so we ran from the ditch. They ran into the ditch, got up, got set, and immediately they came running in. And I was young at the time and didn't really know what I was doing. And there was, I said there's two coming. One was a Longbeard, one was a Jake. And I got, I was so caught up in the moment, wasn't thinking about, hey, this one's bigger than this one or that. And I ended up shooting the Jake and letting the Longbeard go. And but I was you'd have thought that thing had a 2-inch spurs, 12-inch beard, just a man.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be probably my most meaningful turkey hunt, just because of who it was with, and of course being my first hunt.
Yeah,
and then,
definitely.
And then as far as deer, me and him, we were. It was with my grandpa too. It was one of the best mornings in the Georgia woods that I've ever had. We were hunting on a stand in a box blind that we call the power line, and we had 3 really big bucks come out. They're about 300 yards away, and one of them had 2 drop tines. And I remember we were both looking at him through binoculars, and when he turned to look, at the exact same time, we both said, "He's got 2 drop tines." and we gave him the nickname Grandpa. We grunted. He was coming down to us. We were waiting on him to pop up on the hill. He'd have been about 100 yards in. I was using a 243. He never did. Skirted back, went back with the other 2 bucks. But about 2 hours later, we had a big 8-pointer come down in the hole, and I shot him. And that hunt, just like I said, it was the best morning in the Georgia woods. We actually seen 5 really good bucks for Georgia, and then of course just having that encounter with Grandpa, and still to this day, anybody that hunts that property, if you ever say, hey, it's Grandpa, we still talk about that deer.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
So out of all the states that you've hunted, all the turkeys you've been able to kill, we always ask this question to everybody, every guest that we have. If you could give our listeners one tip to be a better, more successful turkey hunter, what's it going to be? One
tip is going to be let the turkeys be turkeys. Turkeys are going to do what turkeys are going to do. And don't get, if he's hammering on roost and answering you and he flies down, he's got hands. Don't get frustrated. Don't back up. Don't, try to go and get on another bird. Just, and don't try to go to them. If you can't, just sit there, be patient, let the turkeys be turkeys, let him do his things with the hen, and eventually he's gonna get lonely. He's gonna get alone, break, and that's your best way to do them. But let the turkeys be turkeys, be patient, and you're gonna kill turkeys. You're gonna kill them by your feet, or you're gonna kill them by your seat. And so either sit there as long as you can take it, or, if nothing's happening, get up and try to go find another one.
Yeah.
By your feet or on your seat.
That's right.
I've never heard that before.
You have now.
I have now, man. That's a good one. I like that.
Put that on a T-shirt.
I might put that on a T-shirt. I was thinking of put that on a car sticker.
Yeah.
Man, that's a good one. We'll give you some royalties or something if we put that on the shirt. That's a good one. Well, Josh, I want to thank you so much for, coming on, and, obviously, we've been connecting and stuff recently. Yes. And, from my perspective on the marketing side and everything, I want to honor you. I want to thank you for what you're doing. You're getting some content for us that is incredible. I mean, it already looks so good. And not only that, but your message as well, to give back to, the habitats and how to manage it and get that holistic view. So, I really want to thank you for, all that you're doing.
No, I appreciate you guys. And I mean, I ran, this wasn't a partnership that started because y'all found me or I was looking for y'all. I was in a hunting camp when Grounded came out with their vest, and two of the guys had it, and they were eating lunch, and the vest were laying there. I went, looked at it, tried it on, and was immediately sold. And went and bought the vest and used it for the past 2 years, and then just got connected with you, just saying, hey, I love the products. I film, I hunt. Here's some photos I got of it. It's just, y'all got some great products and better people behind the products, and it's a turkey vest has not been easy to find. I know a lot of people, they got a new vest every year just because they like this or like that. But no, that's the only vest I've ever had that has checked off the boxes. It's been awesome.
That's encouraging to hear.
Man, ain't it? That's awesome, man. Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate that. And, Josh, like I said, thank you for joining us. All right, y'all. Well, that was episode number 6. Drew remembered the episode today, so we'll make sure he knows next time it's episode 7.
Yeah, first time for everything.
First time for everything. Well, hey guys, thank you so much for, listening to this episode. Like we said, this is always just, an opportunity for us to hopefully provide some, insights that you can use during hunting season. So, now if you're interested in filming, you've got some ideas to, get some film together and, start burning some CDs and sending them over and send them to us. We'll watch them.
And see, he talked about Sony and Canon, so you can do both. I'm a
man.
Sony guy. He's a Canon guy.
I'm a Canon
so
guy.
So we're always
man.
Right.
Yeah, I hear
he
you.
uses both. He's professional.
Yeah,
so.
he is. Right. He is professional.
He settled the argument.
You're right.
Sony's better.
Canon's just what I got comfortable with, and so now it's like I don't want anything else. But anyway, so thank you guys for joining us. Turkey season's getting ready to kick off, so we still have gloves, face masks, our featherweight series, so the pants or the hoodies, and then, a vest. If you need a vest, we usually, I'm not going to hold Drew to this, but we usually ship same day. And
most of the time.
Yep. Unless if not the next day, we will ship next day. So, you still have time if you're in the, South, the Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, there's still time. If you need a vest, we'll get it to you.
Yep,
so,
definitely.
Yeah. So, all right. Thank you guys for joining us, episode number 6. And be sure to follow us at Grounded Brand Outdoors on all the social media platforms. If you're listening to this on YouTube, we do have an audio version as well if you're on the road. And if you're interested, because you're an audio listener, we do have a video version as well on YouTube.
Yep.
So be sure to go check us out on both places. But thank you guys for listening to this episode, and we'll catch you in the next one.